In 1991, the brainwashed super soldier Bucky Barnes, also known as the Winter Soldier, is dispatched from a Hydra base in Siberia to intercept an automobile carrying a case of super soldier serum in the present day, approximately 1 year after Ultron's defeat in the nation of Sokovia at the hands of the Avengers Steve Rogers, Captain America Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow Sam Wilson, the Falcon, and Wanda Maximoff stop Brock Rumlow from stealing a biological weapon from a lab in Lagos. Rumlow blows himself up hoping to kill Rogers when Maxima throws the explosion into the sky with telekinesis. It damages a nearby building, killing several Wakandans. Humanitarian workers. U.S. Secretary of State Thaddeus Ross informs the Avengers that the United Nations is preparing to pass the Sokovia Accords, which will establish a UN panel to oversee and control the Avengers. The Avengers are divided. Tony Stark supports oversight because of his role in Ultron's creation and Sokovia devastation, while Steve Rogers has more faith in his own judgment than that of a government. At a conference in Vienna where the Accords are to be ratified, a bomb killed King T'Chaka of Wakanda. Security footage indicates the bomber is Barnes, whom T'Chaka's son T'Challa, Black Panther, vows to kill. Informed by Sharon Carter of Bucky Barnes's whereabouts and the authorities' attention to kill him, Rogers tries to bring in Bucky Barnes, his childhood friend and war comrade himself. Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson track Bucky Barnes to Bucharest and attempt to protect him from T'Challa and the authorities, but all four, including T'Challa, are apprehended. Helmets Asimo tracks down and kills Barnes' old Hydra handler, stealing a book containing the trigger words that activates Barnes's brainwashing. Impersonating a psychiatrist sent to interview Barnes, Zemo recites the words to make Barnes obey him. He questions Barnes, then sent him on a rampage to cover his own escape. Steve Rogers stops Bucky Barnes and sneaks him away. When Barnes regains his senses, he explains that Vema was the real Vienna bomber and on to the location of the Siberian Hydra base, where other brainwashed Windsor soldiers are kept in cryogenic stasis, unwilling to wait for authorization to apprehend Zemo. Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson go rogue and recruit Maximoff, Clint Barton, Hawkeye, and Scott Lang and men to their cause with Ross's permission. Tony Stark assembles a team composed of Romanoff, T'Challa, James Rhodes, War Machine's Vision, and Peter Parker, Spider-Man, to capture the renegades. Tony Stark's team intercepts Steve Rogers as group at Leipzig/Halle Airport, where they fight until Romanoff allows Rogers and Barnes to escape. The rest of Rogers' team is captured and detained at the Raft prison, while Rhodes is partially paralyzed after being inadvertently shot down by Vision, and Romanoff goes into exile. Stark discovers evidence that Barnes was framed by Zemo and convinces Wilson to give him Rogers' destination without informing Ross. Stark goes to the Siberian Hydra facility and strikes a truce with Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes, unaware they were secretly followed by T'Challa. They find that the other super soldiers have been killed by Zemo, who shows them footage that reveals that Bucky Barnes killed Tony Stark's parents in 1991, and raged that Rogers kept this from him. Stark turns on them both, dismembering Barnes's robotic arm. Steve Rogers disables Tony Stark's armor and departs with Bucky Barnes, leaving his shield behind. Satisfied that he has avenged his family's deaths in Sokovia from the Avengers, his actions by irreparably fracturing them, Zemo attempts suicide but is stopped by T'Challa and taken to the authorities. In the aftermath, Tony Stark provides Rhodes with exoskeletal leg braces that allow him to walk again, while Rogers breaks his allies out of the raft. In a mid-credits scene, Bucky Barnes, granted asylum in Wakanda, chooses to return to cryogenic sleep until a cure for his brainwashing is found. In a post-credits scene, Peter Parker tests a new gadget